As soon as Mikko Rantanen was traded, I don't know about other Leaf fans, but immediately I was like, oh God, here we go. Because immediately this conversation is going to go back to Mitch Marner. I kind of understand why, because the Maple Leafs and Leaf fans are at a big crossroads with this player. You either have the option to sign him long term. You can try to work out a trade with him, although that would be pretty complicated. Or you could just let him walk for nothing. I mean, neither of these decisions are perfect, but we're going to get into that. Now, Mikko Rantanen was traded the other day in just a massive, massive trade, something we just really don't see a lot in the National Hockey League at all. Now, I'm certainly not comparing Mikko Rantanen to Mitch Marner. I mean, Mikko Rantanen is certainly more of a power forward. I think Mikko Rantanen is the better player. I would take Mikko Rantanen all day over Marner, although Marner is an elite playmaker as well. I think that the Leafs are in a completely difficult position with Mitch Marner, though. I think that essentially they are going to pay him, and they are going to pay him what he wants. That's what I generally think is going to happen here. Now, I'm not going to say that's necessarily a good thing. Logically speaking, you could have made the argument that if you were going to trade him, it might have made more sense to trade him earlier on, right when he had no trade protection. But I mean, now we're completely jammed up with this contract, and there's nothing that we can really do about it. If you actually look at the Mikko Rantanen contract, he didn't actually have that much trade protection at all. So I'm going to pull up the contract now in front of you guys. So during most of the Rantanen contract, he had no trade protection at all. And then the final 5 and 6 year, he had a 9-team no trade list. And I'm assuming that Carolina was not on that no trade list, right? So he probably just picked his 9 teams. I'm pretty sure players have to submit their lists. And then, the team is free to do whatever the hell they want. And I mean, as shocking as it was, Mikko Rantanen probably just didn't think that he was going to get traded, although that contract was going nowhere. The Mitch Marner situation is much, 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 much different because he has a full no move clause. You can't even put him on waivers. You can't really even do anything with this guy, right? In a no trade clause, you can put a player on waivers and you can kind of strong arm him and say, hey, listen, buddy, you're going to end up anywhere. In a no movement clause, there's nothing that the team can do unless the player agrees to it, right? So it makes a very complex situation. And be real with me right now. Be honest with this. How odds on do you think it is that Mitch Marner actually is like, okay, guys, let's work out something together? There is absolutely no indication that he would work with the Leafs for everything. Him and his agent have clearly been very tough negotiators. That is absolutely not going to change at all. We know Mitch Marner wants much closer to what Austin Matthews got. Now, that's not me saying that he's worth as much as Austin Matthews. He's not. I think that Austin Matthews is a center. I think he scores more goals. I think Matthews is the better player, but that's just how it is, right? Now, when it comes to Maple Leafs fans, it's very hard for them to justify giving him so much money when the Leafs have had literally no success. Winning one round this far into this era of players is simply unacceptable. I mean, the Montreal Canadiens went all the way to the Cup Finals, and they're already in another rebuild right now, right? It just is what it is. You need to have more success than that, but again, they're in a rock and a hard place. Either you let him walk for nothing, which would suck. You get no assets back. You re-sign him, which honestly, to me, just re-signing him is probably the best option because at least you're going to be able to keep a star player, right? Albeit he's going to have a full no movement clause in his contract anyway. I mean, listen, as much as the Rantanen situation perks people's ears up in terms of possible other big trades, you have to understand that this is more than likely not going to happen with Mitch Marner. My biggest prediction with Mitch Marner is that the Maple Leafs do what they always do. And what I mean by that is that they're probably just going to re-sign the player. The question of the video: what indication has the Maple Leafs given any Leaf fan that they're going to make a big move, quote unquote? They never do stuff like that. They keep their core together, they keep the same players together, and they just keep on hammering it. Now, maybe one day down the road they make me look like I'm not that smart, and they make me look like, hey, listen, you know what? Look, we went on a run. We went on a run. I haven't seen that yet. You know what I mean? I don't really. We have to see proof of that for Leaf fans, but it is what it is. You can't just keep on coming back with the same players, in my opinion. I understand. I said that the Maple Leafs should re-sign him. I still do think that, but you have to understand. I'm saying that from the perspective that the Leafs really have no choice. Of the choices that they are given, this is the best choice. That's what that's the logic that I'm using right now. Honestly, in my opinion, the biggest thing that the Maple Leafs need to do is move Morgan Rielly. Like, I don't know about you guys. I do not understand the obsession with Morgan Rielly. I don't get why people just love him. Like, listen, he seems like a really nice guy. Whatever. He's terrible defensively, giving away pucks. He's just not that good. He really doesn't put much of an impact in terms of his stamp on the game offensively. I just don't understand what the huge rush was to re-sign this guy. I honestly think that offensive defensemen are not nearly as hard to find as you think. Just getting a guy that's decent. Like, I'm straight up with you. You could put Oliver Ekman-Larsson on that top power play unit. How worse would the Leafs be? Like, their power play isn't even that good anyway. It's like below average. Would that really make the Leafs worse? This guy's getting paid a lot of money. I know this video is supposed to be surrounding Mitch Marner, but I'm just like, the Leafs. This is going to be the part of this era where you look back and say the defining part of this era was that they were just refusing to make any big moves. That's my logic with this, that they refuse to make any big moves. Look at the Golden Knights. They don't care. Dude, look at Colorado and Carolina. These are two good teams. They just made a big move. They don't care. So again, it's just one thing that I find very interesting about the Maple Leafs. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video there. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. And make sure to have a great day, guys. Goodbye.